sometime when we are into sadhana, we reach to this conclusion that these things, including ourselves as bodies, we are appearing to be there and we will disappear. I have read all the Puranas 18, very many stories. I can tell you stories and stories every day, which generally Kathavachaks are telling. But what purpose that will serve? If whole spirituality you want to sum up, this is all about it. How to behave. Anything you are solving any problem, a number of ways you try how to solve it until you find a solution. So till the time you have not found solution, it is always lingering in mind. Grasping the pure is becoming difficult for you. You keep going back and you see there were things decided locally. There used to be small kingdoms, peaceful people, lifestyle was predictable. So it was easier to cope with life and focus more. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, bruyat, satyam priyam. Priyam cha na nirtam bruyat, esha dharma sanatana. Ki satya bolo, speak the truth, speak it lovingly. Something is lovingly spoken, but it is not true, that should also not be spoken. If you are looking for the truth, you will have to come back to yourself. If truth was what, it would have been captured by somebody by now. Anything other than truth, if you take for fulfillment, it will, after some point of time, it will show its colors. No? It will not give you fulfillment.
Guruji, I had a question on remembrance. One of the Dainik Vanis was, remembrance gradually goes through phases of internalized craving while crossing through treacherous conscious remembrance. What are these different phases and why is conscious remembrance treacherous? Treacherous.
See, we begin with what we see. See as an appearance. But we are not limited to that. So beginning is to identify with anything, to understand. We speak in terms of things which we see on a very apparent level. Then after some time, when we are into sadhana, we reach to this conclusion that these things, including ourselves as bodies, we are appearing to be there and we will disappear again. So that when it becomes clear, it doesn't take much time to make this clear, but we do not stay put there in that consciousness. We again come back to this level and then we want to address those things which are deeper. This, if we are not doing sadhana, then this confusion we ourselves do not understand. That we are quoting things which are apparent and we are trying to address something which is not at the level of appearance but at the level of deeper understanding. So that is where the remembrance becomes precarious. What will you remember? Who will you remember? That which you have understood at a very deeper level, that this is the remembrance, or what you have apparently seen or understood. So that is why it is called tricky. Because when this is needed, then this, when that is needed, then that. Now when is this needed and when is that needed? Now when you are at that level, then this is needed. When you are at that level, then that is needed. See, when we progress, we are saying very simple terms. Our narrative has been very consistent. That's why I sometimes hesitate to tell stories. I have read all the Puranas 18, very many stories. I can tell you stories and stories every day, which generally Kathavachaks are telling. But what purpose that will serve? So we said we are here to shorten that. So we made our story that from intellect to intelligence to wisdom. Simple. Even if you read whole Puranas, the like people summed up, that Vyasa wrote 18 Puranas. And then he said, if you have to understand in a nutshell, then he says, if you hurt somebody, it is pap, and if you please somebody, paropkar, if you do, it is punya. That's what written in all 18 Puranas. Okay? So now when you come to this gist, then do you need to read all those Puranas? Because you want to relate in your life stories and situation, that is why you go through literature. Whether you read novels, watch movies, or read articles, You want to understand how it is relating to you at your level of understanding the world. So, when we say you go deeper from intellect to intelligence, then your remembrance also changes. Like you come to understand that if you say yourself as existing, then it automatically means existing forever. Now, this doesn't register, do you know? But when you are faced with circumstances, you fight for your appearance level reality. You forget deeper things. That means, despite knowing, you don't know. Otherwise, you will stay put there. No. Anyway, this I have come to understand. So that contradiction, that's why people take examples of movies and depictions how to make. Now, when I am telling this, I remember that movie Beautiful Mind. He is seeing people. When really people are there, he said, no, I know, I am seeing people, but they are not really there. When they really are there. When they were not really there, then he says the people. So this contradiction in life keep playing. So when we are through with dualities, not as knowing, but as reality. So that is where this negotiation between remembrance changes. Now, if you are staying put there, then your remembrance will be of that level. That you are existing forever, then the one who you are remembering is also forever, automatically, isn't it? Only difference is that of identification. How deeply, intensely you can identify and how to do that. So sadhana, that more and more you disappear, more and more that manifests. So we say in so many words, sometimes we say this and that, just to make understand. If less and less of this, then more and more of that. But if sadhana is not there, then we do not stay put in that. And we come back to give priority to this, which we know we should not. So what we know, we act against our knowledge. So again, conscious remembrance, because you are at that level. So accordingly, that kind of behavior you will align more. Remembrance means what? Ultimately, what we are saying is, how are we going to behave in life? If whole spirituality you want to sum up, this is all about it. How to behave. That's all. So if your behavior becomes so much aligned that it doesn't require conscious effort, then you are free from world. That's what we call bhav sagar par. Bhava means what is appearing to be there. You are free from that. Though you are there, but you don't feel that you are there. Why? Because you have gone somewhere very deep to identify with your deeper level of consciousness. So you feel there you exist as that, not as this. So your remembrance will be of that. So that is why it becomes tricky, because sometimes you are coming at a very shallow level, sometimes you are going very deep. So during your sadhana, this becomes tricky, which we call yatna upaya. For everything we make some effort. Something we register, no, I need to work at it. Then we make effort. And that is who you are. You make effort to reach there. And that effort is what we are saying. It is tricky. Anything you are solving, any problem, and number of ways you try how to solve it until you find a solution. So till the time you have not found solution, it is always lingering in mind that I need to find solution, and then you are looking at the problem also. So these are the ways that all levels of consciousness are that only, in simple words, that intellect to intelligence to wisdom, and trickery, because we keep jumping here and there. So to always keep moving forward, it becomes tricky. See, simple, no? Earlier lifestyles were, as we were saying, much more clear, because weather and everything was not unpredictable like these days. So it was comparatively easier to adjust, whole cycle Now people are changing places. Sometimes you are in New York, sometimes you are in new village. So you are changing so much. So there is, till the time your body becomes stable, mind becomes stable, you see it adjusts to the environment, and environment is also changing. So that time it was easy to do any yogasana or anything you are doing. Now it has become difficult. So this, if you remember, a few years back, this yogachari in Mysore, he started these props. Is because he noticed that people are no more capable of doing all that thing. So he read the need of the time. If he suppose he said, no, I will go only Shastriya way, then nobody is going to listen to your Shastra now. So you have to come to the level of people, maximum number, where those who are at least eager to do. Like Baba Ramdev came with that, no, for physical well-being you start yoga, because it is not that he doesn't know anything. He knows everything. But people are beginning from this. So first I need to cut off this. Suddenly whole world started doing that because people were at that body ailment and everything. Say, oh, this is a cure. You don't need to buy anything. And slowly other things got added up to it. What I am trying to say is these all additions are needed, because grasping the pure is becoming difficult for people, maximum number. Now why it is becoming like that, that is a very vast question to address, and it is very much interlinked globally. It is nowadays, it is not, because earlier if you keep going back and you see there were things decided locally. There used to be small kingdoms, peaceful people, lifestyle was predictable. So it was easier to cope with life and focus more, if you want. Now what has happened is, one disturbance in one country and other countries also are disturbed. Now sometimes I wonder whether satsang should be how much money America is using for nuclear weaponry, or how much money China is devoting for fighting the war on the chip, for AI in war. What should be our real satsang? Because those things are going to hit humanity. If you remember a few months back or a year, I said that now we'll have to study foreign affairs as well, because those things concern your life. So to do a small thing as if voting, if you really want to vote, which everybody should vote, and voting means you are giving right to make decisions for you. Now when you do not know what are the issues on which decisions should be made, is anyone even putting those issues in their manifesto? These are the issues which are on priority of our life to live properly. So I'm saying satsang also becomes depending on the audience, which kind of what issues we talk about, because truth is all pervasive, but in every subject it is different. And now this is one. Another is, no, I am doing my sadhana, I need to know how to go deep. And my satsang is that. Now that is also satsang. So wherever, in whichever form, truth you identify, reaching more and more towards its you see center or focal point or essence. That is what satsang is, and identifying with it and upholding it. So strange or wonderful or miraculous thing is that those old, so-called old, because they are new also. So when we say old, then immediately I have to say new and ever new. Like slokas, they said, Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, ma bruyat, satyam priyam. Priyam cha na nirtam bruyat, esh dharma sanatana. Ki satya bolo, speak the truth, speak it lovingly. Something is lovingly spoken, but it is not true, that should also not be spoken. Just because something is loving, it should not be spoken if it is not true. That principle applies even today. You say it is old, old, it is new also. So our quest for the truth is eternal because we are like that. If we have wisdom and we sit and ponder from anywhere we will come back to the same thing. That existence means either forever or it doesn't make any sense. So this is nobody is giving to anybody. Everybody, just because they are human beings, when they do their cognition, they will come to the same conclusion. Now when they come to this conclusion, then why every education is not beginning with that? Why you are giving different stories to different children and dividing them into religions, nations and everything? Nations, फिर भी it is understandable because of geographical expansion, geographical area or vastness. To control things practically you need. But why religions? When you are looking for the truth is this. You call anybody, he or she ought to be a human being, or they now. So, now he, she and they now it has become, it is to be correct, you have to say they also. So then you have to, you come to the same conclusion. Then nobody has guts to say remove this all from education at least. Save the coming generation. Bring them to the truth. So this much, you see, falsehood is going on, which is legalized by nations, by all, you see, constitutions, enlightened people of the world. Now, people go for enlightened people into these places only. They consider is so great religious person or something. So yatnopaya, so effort, that if you are looking for the truth, you will have to come back to yourself. Now, when you come back to yourself and there is a base, same page, as we call, are we on the same page? So what can be that same page? But people have pondered over, people means those who really followed. Followed means followed for the truth that I want to know. They came to the same conclusion that we are eternal. Either we are not. Now, if you are not, then there is no problem. So, perforce you have to accept that you are. Otherwise, you have no right to pose a problem. Who is posing? Next question will be, if you are not, then who is posing the problem? So, you have to come to the conclusion that you are. And more you ponder, you come to know that what appearing to be there doesn't qualify to that, you see, postulate of eternity, except in continuation. So why not make education based on the truth? That is why we wrote a small book. If you read one page, this will be clear. Need not go for the whole book either. But people, that's the question again, it stays the same, that what we know, we do not stay put into it. If we stay put into it, we will be peaceful. I'm not saying purportedly you will be happy, you will be blissful. I'm saying you will be peaceful. If you stay with truth, you will feel peaceful. Despite anything or everything going topsy-turvy or very well. That is why we come back to remembrance. How we are, who we are, where we are. And then somebody was asking, what is the truth? What is truth? Is never what. You are not a what. So dialogue hi khatam ho gaya. He did not anticipate. He was thinking, he was asking very deep questions. Something. Because whole scaffolding was built on this. I have read that, I have read that, that is that, this is that. सब है. But वो truth तो नहीं है. If truth was what, it would have been captured by somebody by now. So hope is that people don't lose their sanity. Sanity is the only hope for humanity. If people stay sane, then what we call Shruti and Smriti, that difference becomes almost non-existing for them. कुछ चीज़ें हैं वो people have made them complicated. for various reasons. Various reasons means how to keep people engaged meaningfully. Otherwise, they can be told in very simple words. People are not capable of staying put at that. So people made so many stories and relate in every way we live life, in every situation. Oh, here also, every time. We are just trying to remember only. The satsang ka lav, faida means benefit or whatever you want to say. Is that only that despite whatever is happening outside, inside you are peaceful. वो आज के समय में तो और इट हैज़ बिकम मोर इसी लॉफ्टी, क्योंकि बहुत फिसल है साई की लोगों की. देखो, चिल्ड्रन आर कमिटिंग सुइसाइड एट यंग एज. In every family there is chaos because they don't understand that how distraction takes place. This is वो इससे है. So anything other than truth, if you take for fulfillment, it will, after some point of time, it will show its colors. No, it will not give you fulfillment. केवल sadhana and truth, they offer you a hope for staying fulfilled. और उसमें फिर प्रॉब्लम हो जाते हैं. In families, why problems are there? In world, in countries, why problems are there? Because individuals are not complete. They are trying to fill it with something else, not with truth. बस उतनी सी problem. Everywhere they are giving some supplement to the truth, and you can't replace the truth. So when it comes on the surface, then there is problem, and it becomes worse when they suppose A and B, two countries are fighting, and B start telling lies to A and to the whole world. And in this process, whatever B tells as lies, he makes his persona on that this is my character, telling whole world that this is the truth. Now whole world figures out that this is not the truth. Now the whole personality is gone down. Then it is miffed and start doing hanky-panky other things. That's how the things go wrong. ये हो रहा है, वही फैमिली में हो रहा है, वही वर्ल्ड में हो रहा है. Because human being is not truthful. Truthful होके admitting weakness doesn't make you weak. No, see, if you are weak, you are, this thing is weak. But truth has to be there. That is why such things, how wisely somebody spoken such things about Sanatana, observed lifetime. There was no distraction. Continuously seers contemplated on it, experimented in life, and then they found it good, beneficial, whatever we want to give an adjective to it, for all. Then they postulated. So these are observations. These are not doctrinations. Those who follow a doctrination, they find it difficult because it is not a doctrination. You experiment in life and you figure out that this is truth. तो कितना simple है एक तरह से सारी चीजें. If you see, this is what I am saying. If you have to sum up, there are 2-3 sentences. The whole thing you can sum up, but it takes lifetimes and lifetimes to just say the same thing in different ways. वो कभी-कभी हमें ये पता नहीं चलता कि what should we speak in satsang, because there are not that there is a dearth of issues. There are so many issues are there which needs to be explored and spoken about. Out of that, which one to take? All are vying for the attention. Anything you see and you see it in real colors, so this also needs to be addressed. This also needs to be addressed. And finally you become mum. क्या करेंगे? तो किसी ने कुछ, somebody asked something, चलो this is the reason to say something. Otherwise, that is how it is. Meditate करो और आगे बढ़ो.